Facebook is the worst of all social media platforms in terms of censorship and algorithm manipulation. And I know a lot of people are always saying, who uses Facebook anymore? But the answer is a lot of people. Now called meta platforms, the corporate umbrella for all their different companies. They have a market cap of around $800 billion. $800 billion. Making Facebook or Meta one of the top 6 most valuable companies in the world. And there are still over 3 billion active monthly users. Nobody is sharing family photos on Twitter or X. Nobody will convince me that Elon's rebranding of Twitter to X is a good idea, by the way. And no one is setting up party invites over Instagram. Facebook still has its uses, as bad as it is now for sharing news. But remember the good old days when it actually was a cool platform? Before all the censorship, algorithm manipulation, and bogus fact checks? Those were the days. What was once a great platform to keep in touch with family and friends and a place to read interesting articles others shared has obviously turned into another tightly controlled corporate cog in the left's information warfare machine. At the end of 2016, about a month after the election, when the fake news scare was first heating up and Democrats are blaming Hillary's loss on people posting misinformation about her, Facebook decided to start automatically fact-checking things people posted, outsourcing the operation to various organizations like Snopes and PolitiFact, who were granted authority to police such content, so Facebook itself could claim they weren't censoring posts deemed to be supposedly false or sticking their nose in everyone's business. It's trusted third-party independent fact-checkers. From this point on, when anybody posted a link to a news story or a YouTube video, if it triggered a fact check, the post would be completely blurred out with a notice over it claiming it's false, which also prevents it from going viral. But as you know, many of these fact checks are completely and obviously false, and the posts they censor are accurate and true. This new feature was just another way for the establishment to further suppress information they don't want people to know. And the system got so out of control, Facebook started censoring memes making fun of Democrats and Joe Biden. For example, they fact-checked a meme about gas prices being high because of old Joe that reads, "Man, I haven't seen gas prices this high since the last Democrat was in office." Anyone who posted it had the meme automatically grayed out and it was labeled false with a note claiming gas prices were high due to generic supply issues. They even fact-checked the popular meme of Martin Luther King wearing a MAGA hat, claiming that his political affiliation isn't known. Like all platforms, they use a content ID system to automatically scan every image and video that's uploaded, and they have an entire library of memes the moderators have set to be flagged. Satirical articles from the Babylon Bee even get the same fact check in order to censor their mockery of liberals. Another ridiculously false fact check that was integrated into Facebook's automatic system by USA Today, one of their trusted partners, claimed it was fake news that a thug named Jacob Blake was armed at the time that he got himself shot by police in Kenosha, Wisconsin. He's the thug whose shooting sparked the Black Lives Matter riots shortly thereafter, which led to Kyle Rittenhouse having to defend himself when he was attacked by the angry mob. Anyone who posted that Jacob Blake was armed with a knife, which he was, had their posts flagged as false and penalties placed on their account. Not only did the police say that he had a knife on him at the time of the shooting, but it could be seen on video. And later during an interview with Good Morning America, he admitted the obvious that he was armed with a knife when police shot him. But Facebook tried to protect the false narrative that another unarmed black man just happened to get shot by police because of racism. Facebook also fact-checked the true claim that Donald Trump made about Kyle Rittenhouse when he said that videos showed that he was trying to get away from the mob when they attacked him. Anyone who followed that story closely saw those videos which went viral that same night, but Facebook was censoring posts that defended Rittenhouse or showed that he acted in self-defense, deeming him a supposed mass shooter, and supporting or praising such individuals is a violation of their terms of service. Rittenhouse himself was banned from Facebook after his arrest, so he couldn't even defend himself on the platform while the media, Democrats in Congress, and countless others online kept smearing revering him as a white supremacist and a mass murderer. One of the most hilarious fake fact checks happened after CNN made Joe Rogan look green when they aired a video that he had posted on his Instagram announcing that he had tested positive for coronavirus. He wasn't vaccinated, so the media tried to rub it in that he got sick by making him look deathly ill by drastically altering the color of his video, even though he only had mild symptoms because he got the monoclonal antibody treatment right away. No evidence video color was manipulated in CNN news segment, claimed the fact checkers. But if you look at the original video he uploaded to Instagram, side by side with the one CNN aired, which is still up on their YouTube channel, he looks almost as green as the Incredible Hulk. It's cartoonishly altered, and there's no reasonable explanation for it other than it was done on purpose, just like discoloring footage of political opponents in campaign ads, a common tactic to cast them in a negative light. Candace Owens sued the fact checkers after receiving several strikes for posting supposedly false content on her Facebook page, which then caused it to get demonetized, just like YouTube channels, harming the livelihoods of content creators. John Stossel also sued Facebook for over $2 million, claiming that their fact checks were defamatory after they had declared that several of his posts were supposedly false, that of course were not. But a judge dismissed his lawsuit at the end of 2022, claiming that the fact checks are only a subjective judgment about the accuracy and the reliability of assertions. Note the judge's claims that the fact checks were subjective, not objective. In other words, the supposed fact checks were just opinions. The judge's ruling goes on to say, simply because the process by which content is assessed and a label applied is called a fact check does not mean that the assessment itself is an actionable statement of objective fact. So a judge ruled the fact checks are BS, but Facebook is allowed to still use them to censor and suppress factual information without facing any consequences. Candace Owens' lawsuit was also thrown out by a judge for similar bogus reasons. The fact checkers are usually just fact suppressors, and in typical leftist fashion, they try to mask their agenda under deceptive terms that are often usually the exact opposite of what they mean. Of course, fact checks are just one of the many tools being used to manipulate the masses. We're dealing with social media, mainstream media, they're indoctrinating the youth in public schools and universities. Corporate America is also functioning as an arm of the thought police, not to mention the high priests of Hollywood who use cultural Marxism to influence the ideas and actions of the masses. And if you haven't ordered my new book, The War on Conservatives, yet, you won't be disappointed. So get it in paperback from Amazon.com. It's not available in stores because I'm just a guy in my kitchen on a laptop. But if you like my videos, you're really going to love reading my book. It gets into so many areas I don't cover on YouTube, and it really goes into detail about what's happening in a way you won't be able to see from these rather short videos. So order The War on Conservatives in paperback from Amazon.com, or download the ebook from Kindle iBooks, Nook, or Google Play. And of course, there's a link to the Amazon listing in the description below, so click it and head on over there and check it out.